Let me tell you, it's cold out there. What did we have last night? Like 30 degrees? It was freezing. What, a few days ago it was 85. Now it's freezing. Now I'm cold, bundled up, jacket and everything. Yeah, the heat's on. Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Parker the Man page at yournews.com. Mark Wilson with your webcam for this 19th of April. 19 already, April 2010. I just finished watching. I DVR'd Saturday Night Live and saw Kesha in whatever that thing was she had on going with the black light and the kind of tribal thing, have the colors. If you haven't seen it, do a YouTube. I think you could or find it. You know, I'm all about crazy, but we already have someone like her. Her name is Gaga. We didn't need another one. All right, so just watching Kesha on Saturday Night Live, all this stuff going on. You know, I'm as kooky as the next guy. All right. Yeah, it's the white probably doing this to this. Anyhow, another brand new week for you. And, I thought, look, with the Wings firmly entrenched in a first-round playoff series, and the Pistons not even involved, and the Tigers very early on in the season, I said, why not do a piece on sports movies? And one of the reasons I did it was because I'm watching Raging Bull the other night with Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci and company, Kathy Moriarty. And I said, you know what, this thing still holds up today. And I looked, and I did not realize it was 30 years old. 1980 is when not only Raging Bull came out, but Caddyshack as well. So, I mean, they're all about 30 years old, some of these sports movies that were iconic in their times and still hold up today. Because I think Caddyshack is maybe the funniest sports movie, along with Major League. So I wrote about some of my favorites. You can check them out, too. You can email me if you want what your favorites were at tvboy@yournewsdetroit.com. But I just kind of listed some of the ones I liked, and maybe one sleeper movie in there. And one of the ones I really liked was the Kevin Costner thing about the Tiger, Billy Chappell throwing the perfect game in his final game of his career. I don't know why that one. Every time, I think a good movie has to be one, especially on cable, where if it's on, you'll watch it to the end. No matter how many times you've seen it, no matter what you got to do, where you got to be, you'll still watch the darn thing until finish. Whether it's from the start or middle or wherever, that's a good movie. It's something that you have to see the finish on again. So. All about sports movies. I knew I'd get around to doing that sometime in the first year of yournews.com, and so finally I have done it. And we're coming close to the first full year of yournews.com. The anniversary, in fact, is a week from Wednesday. I just noticed that. So check that out. Also in the piece, in the tweets and feats section of the Wilson column this morning, to wake you up. Hello. Wings, of course, I mentioned something about the series. Lost to the Phoenix Coyotes at Joe Louis 4-2. Jimmy Howard has given up 11 goals in 3 games. I guess we should have figured, look, the guy's, this is his first foray into playoff hockey. If we say it's going to be different, if we say it's a new season, Howard's never done this before. And either you give him a break and say that maybe this one has to be one taken for the team if something should happen here, or you trusted Mike Babcock and his judgment to go with him over Osgood the last portion of this season. Last half, pretty much. I mean, Osgood only played twice in the calendar year 2010. So they weren't going to go back to Osgood now, and so Howard's your guy. If you don't trust in Jimmy, then you don't believe in what they've got going with Howard as their goalie for years to come. Phoenix has done a very nice job. Shane Doan went down in the game. They still came back and won the thing. Verbrada's goal was outstanding in a sense that they got the shot off, and Howard just either didn't see it or couldn't. Those are the kind of goals that we used to rip on Ozzie for, and Mike Vernon, and even Dom Hasek, and Curtis Joseph, and Tim Chevrolet, and Bob Essenza, and the list is endless. Of goalies that got ripped for giving up bad goals, especially in playoff time. So Game 2 is tomorrow, Tuesday, at Joe Louis at 6:30. It's a 6:30 start for television. I know, 6:30 to start a hockey game, but that's the way it goes. And if they lose that one, they're in trouble. They're in big trouble, because you're going to go back to Phoenix with a chance to lose the series first round. But hey, Phoenix 4th seed, Wings 5th, Wouldn't be an upset, as it turns out, even though the Wings had a 100-point season and are the 2-time defending Western Conference champion and have been to the Cup Finals last 2 years and won one of them. Speaking of 4-2 games, the Tigers had one themselves over Seattle. They got one of the 3 games. Now they head to Anaheim. They'll settle into Disneyland for 4 days. They got to play them 4 games and then go to Texas. Jim Leland wasn't too happy about the game where they play at 10 o'clock at night in Anaheim, then go to Texas and have a game the next day. But that's the nature of the baseball schedule, so they'll do that. I also wrote about baseball surprises the first 2 weeks of the season, and there's a bunch of them, and we're surprising how many there were. By the way, the pitchers tonight for the Tigers, Dontrell Willis goes for his first win, and Joel Pinheiro goes for the Angels. But there are some surprises. One of them was the Ubaldo Jimenez no-hitter for Colorado against Atlanta over the weekend. If you didn't see it, really some good stuff by Jimenez. Some people have said he's got no-hitter stuff, and he finally pulled it off, but I would not have thought that Ubaldo Jimenez, since no Rocky had ever thrown one, would throw a no-hitter for Colorado. Other surprises, too, like Baltimore being 2-11, and Dave Trombley still has his job. That Baltimore thing. That hasn't been good for 15 years. They're not as bad as the Pirates, man. They're getting as bad as and Pittsburgh 7-5. I was stunned. I think they should just cancel the season at Pittsburgh and just say we'll take 7-5. We've done with the thing. It is Patriots Day in Boston. I wrote about the Boston Marathon, the 114th run for the Roses. 26 miles plus, Heartbreak Hill and all that. The Kenyans and Ethiopians are the usual favorites, although there are a couple Americans in the field that think they can win. No American man has won since Greg Meyer in 83. No American female has won since Lisa Larson-Weidenbach in 85. So we'll see if they can pull that off today. That all starts early because the Red Sox Rays game goes at 11 o'clock. And Tampa's going for a sweep in Boston at Fenway. In Boston for a quarter. We also have a national champion in our state. Michigan, men's gymnastics. Give it up. NCAA champions, Kurt Golder. Kurt Golder's been there about 15 years now, and he inherited a team that went 0-16 and was last in the Big Ten. He's now won two. I'm doing Kesha. 2 national championships in Ann Arbor. And it's NFL Draft Week. I didn't write much about it yet. We'll have a special piece for you this week before the draft and, of course, after the Lions make their first pick on Thursday. And about this whole pomp and circumstance with the new draft thing, with the 3-day draft. Starts Thursday night, first time they've ever done a primetime draft. And the NFL schedule comes out tomorrow, too. And I did write in the piece, and I'll give it to you now. There is no truth to the rumor that the Lions have been held off the schedule. They got to play 16 games again, just like everybody else. So check it out. Sports movies today and the rest of the stuff on yournews.com, the Parker and the Man page. We got a big NFL football draft week coming up.